How's it going, guys? It's Joe. We've got a really exciting Grand Arena Championship matchup for you guys today, so I hope you guys stay till the end. And just to give you a brief overview, this guy is Nikarah, and he is very well known in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community to be awesome at what he does. And he is on point on his mods. He is an absolute beast. Although we have the same amount of GP, we have the same amount of top 80. He's almost got about 280,000 lifetime banners and an insane amount of offensive and defensive wins here. As you can see on the screen, he's got a ton of amazing mods as well. And if you have a look at his roster, he really works hard on mods. Like every single character is modded so optimally. So I'm really impressed with this guy, and from what I'm told, he's well known to be helping the community for mods and things like that. So thank you so much for all you do, Nikarah, and it's an honor to be matched up against you today, so if you're watching. And let's aim for the full clear here today, guys. That would be amazing. So just to show you a brief overview, this guy is one of the top 5 guilds, Shadowlands. I'm sure you guys have heard of this guild if you've been playing this game for some time. They're quite a big guild and they're really strong. So Nikarah here, unfortunately, doesn't have any Galactic Legends yet at this stage, but looking at his roster, it looks like he's getting close to getting Rey. He's got a really solid roster as well, and he's relicked up really good relic priority characters. And if you have a look at his mods as well, everything is absolutely optimal. Although he does have some mods in his characters that are a little bit different from the conventional. A good example would be that his Grievous is actually modded for crit damage sets as opposed to health sets. Now that does diminish a bit of health, but his Grievous hits like an absolute beast. So in the bottom line here, guys, we've got Rex, 5s and 3PO, we've got the Grievous team, and I'm going to be using this Basti, Gas and Hoda against this Rex squad. So the idea behind this is that I've actually remodded Gas for high health and high offense as opposed to protection. As you can see here, I've got a ton of speed on Hoda, and he's able to take the first turn with the help of a Basti lead with that turn meter gain. And I've got a ton of protection up, as you can see. These clones are barely scraping through. I got a counter attack there on 5s and Rex, and they make really quick work of this clone trooper team. So as you can see, guys, this team is amazing. Bastila lead allows for an increase in tenacity as well. So a lot of those debuffs are gonna be really difficult to stick. Next up, we've got this Grievous team here, and I'm going to be using my standard JKR. I'm going to pass this turn meter on GMY. Going to throw some foresight on my team there. Now we've still got stealth on these characters, but the big threat here is B1, as he's actually got almost 11k offense on this B1, which is pretty insane, guys. At this point, I'm going to start working on this B1. Grievous goes for that AoE and he drops a little bit of our protection there. I'm going to mark B1 here, and I'm going to try and get him out of the game as soon as I possibly can. Now Grievous hits for a basic there and actually procs Savior on GMY, and now JKR is on the yellow as well. So we're going to heal up a little bit. We're going to hit Magna Guard for a little bit here, although that AoE from GMY actually dropped Grievous's health enough that we've got Mark on Magna Guard now. But the idea here is to cycle around, get Mark on Grievous again, and once Mark is on Grievous, we're just going to completely target him. And pretty straightforward there, we're able to drop Grievous. And we're trying to get a little bit of our protection up as well. See how much we can get back. And we drop Magna Guard there, and looks like one of our characters had a little bit of protection taken off of them, which is fine. Now this guy's defense is something that I've not seen before. He's got a lot of creativity in his defense setting, and it's very interesting to go against. So this Dooku is absolutely insane in terms of speed. At about 330 speed, we got a pre-taunt on L3 here, so we're stuck behind that, and we had to use our Force Storm. Now we're going to use Insanity on L3, and we got Death Mark on Dooku. We use that Wild Lightning, and we're able to drop Dooku there. However, that Relic 7 Droideka just took out our Sith Empire Trooper. And now this Droideka has stealth and damage immunity, so we're just going to cycle around and try and get him out of that. Use Insanity here, and Wild Lightning does the job for a low banner win, unfortunately. Now in the back line, we've got a GK-led Jedi. We've got a Scoundrel team at the top, Asajj Ventress and Night Sisters. And in the top line here, we've got a Geo squad, a Finn-led Resistance, and we've even got Rose Tico up here as well. Now this team with Newt lead and B2 is quite tricky as well, as I decided to use my CLS team. Now from the get-go, I'm gonna really quickly try and get rid of this B2. So the other thing that he's changed in terms of mods that made it a little bit unconventional is that his B2 Super Battle Droid isn't modded for tenacity or potency. So this guy is modded for pure tankiness, which is pretty insane. As if you actually had B2 Super Battle Droid in your team with Grievous in 5v5, it's gonna be really tough to take him out, and you really want to target him right off the bat, as if you fall short of killing him, he's gonna take so many turns, apply so much target lock on your team, and that's just not good for your team. So we're getting a couple counterattacks here, which is great, and we're gonna use our AoE on Chewbacca there. And as you can see, all those attacks from B2 and Newt have diminished our protection here, and we're just trying to get it back. However, it's really hard to get recovery back in 3v3, especially against a 315 speed Newt Gunray. So unfortunately, not the most efficient banners there as well. And there's an insane Geobrood Alpha team here with Geonosian Spy and Wat Tambor. So I'm going to be using my Traya team here with Nihilus and Scion. So Wat Tambor takes the first turn, places Bactoid Shield on the Brute in the back, and is slowly chipping away at our Traya. And look at that, I almost lost Traya on that big hit by Geonosian Spy, and I slow down for a second here, catch my breath, as I actually thought I would lose this match. Now we're gonna hit Spy here as he's off stealth for a bit. Wat Tambor threw in that health tech on Spy. We're gonna ability block Geobrood Alpha, and we're gonna start to work on Wat Tambor here as well. And that's a pretty tanky Traya, guys. I've got health primaries on Traya, as well as a crit avoidance arrow, and we still almost lost her against that spy. Now that we've got Annihilate, we're gonna go straight for Spy here as he's being a menace. We're gonna try and get Wat Tambor out of the game here as well. Now I want to keep Isolate on that Brute. That way I don't get stuck behind the taunt. And these guys are modded absolutely insane. And that is why they're just lasting so long in this battle. And we actually cycled through 3 Annihilates to get a bunch of these guys out. So in the back line here guys, I've got a little bit of a strategy in regards to taking out this Night Sister team, and that is the 3 Mandalorians. These guys are absolutely insane under a Boba Fett lead. So Boba Fett lead provides 50% additional crit damage and a little bit of crit chance to help you out as well. The only problem is that his contract starts as the first person on the opposing team takes the first turn. So as I drop the Acolyte there, I'm gonna go for Asajj Ventress here as she took the first turn. And I need to drop her in order to get to my payouts. However, I actually didn't think I needed to get to my payouts here as I was able to drop them regardless. I finally got my payouts. Asajj uses a Dispel and Heal there. I'm going to throw my Burn. And I've still got Bounty Hunter's Resolve on 3 of my Mandos, which is pretty awesome. I'm able to drop Asajj there and eventually Zombie as well. So looking towards the end here guys, I decided to use my JTR against Roast Tico. And the problem with looking at your roster towards the end is that you're most likely not going to have a lot of teams left over. And so you've got to manage that so you've got enough firepower to drop all these relicked up characters, which seems to be a recurring problem for me, as I don't have a very big roster of characters to pick from, and I've very carefully relicked my characters in a sense that I've prioritized a couple and have just lagged on the others. Having 3PO on this team is pretty amazing as well, as he applies so many confusers and exposes. So we've still got a couple characters we could utilize in this roster. We've still got Wat Tambor and Kylo Unmasked, and I just decided to save Sith Trooper for later on. So I placed OG Kylo here. We're going to place the Bactoid Shield Generator on Kylo Unmasked and the Weapon Tech onto OG Kylo. We got a stun on Kylo Ren Unmasked there, and we're going to go straight for Hux here. Now fortunately I've got much more relics on my characters here than my opponent, so we're going to make really quick and easy work of them here with our AoEs from OG Kylo, and we're going to get a lot of our health and protection back as well, just from Wat Tambor being here. Towards the end, I'm going to use my basics on OG Kylo here to stick those healing immunities. Now the problem with having a Hux lead and having Kylo Ren Unmasked and OG Kylo on your team is that a lot of the time the AI never likes to use basics. Although you do have dominance, which is an amazing feature on your team, it doesn't really help, as Hux usually shines with that increased physical damage when you use basics. So I try and keep him for offense. And I still had Padme here, so I just threw her in against this Finn lineup. And Scav Rey absolutely hits like a beast there, as she almost dropped my Jedi Knight Anakin from that attack. And we're just building on our courage stacks here, so I'm able to drop Scav Rey, and very shortly Poe Dameron as well. Gonna throw that AoE, get more protection up there, and I'm just gonna use my basic on Padme. So in the backline, he's got a Malevolence ship here with some Geos. We've still got 2 teams to drop here, so we're gonna use our Palp lead with Sith Trooper and Grand Admiral Thrawn to drop this GK. Now this may not have been the best choice of team, as we've got a lot of healing from Barriss, and Barriss has a Zeta, so we're really not able to apply that many debuffs. Although it's all good because we've got Sith Trooper here that does a ton of damage, and regardless of the dispels, we still stick shock every now and then. And as you can see, we're able to drop him. However, we've got Hoda and Barriss just healing him up so much. Got a stun on Barriss there, so we're going to throw that Fracture on GK. And as you can see, the Hoda here is being a menace as he's healing them so much. And this team looks to be a pretty solid timeout team. Although we've got enough damage here with our Sith Trooper, and we've stuck a couple of stuns here on this team. Now Hoda's able to get a heal there, so we're gonna start to get rid of him. I'm gonna pass this on to Sith Trooper just to get that protection back, and we're just gonna start to work on Barriss Offee here, just with basics. And GK's lead already has a ton of max health increase, and having Hoda on this team with Master's Training further increases that, as well as damage. So Hoda is amazing for 3v3, and I usually like to save him for offense as he has so many uses, and you can literally plug and play him on any team. Now this is a bit of an iffy match here, guys. I took the risk, and I had an idea behind this team. So I switched that First Order Executioner to Magna Guard, as HK's leadership allows for increases in damage as well as crit chance. So I tried to stick this target lock on Zalbar, which didn't work out for me, unfortunately. Whereas if it had, then I wouldn't have had to deal with his taunt, and that was the main issue here. As if he hadn't taunted at this point, then I would have been able to get rid of Kira much quicker. And that was a critical moment in this fight, as we just can't get past this Zalbar's taunt now, unfortunately, and we're losing our Magna Guard here. And our HK is not putting enough damage, so I just decided to use the self-destruct here, but that didn't do enough damage either, unfortunately. And the other problem was that I found out late that this Zalbar is actually modded for really high tenacity. So it would have been really tough to stick that target lock. Although that was the idea behind that team. Theoretically speaking, I should have gone for this team to begin with Huxley, First Order Executioner, and I believe I placed the First Order Sith, Stormtrooper as well. So with dominance in the beginning, these guys counterattack like crazy. So we're gonna pass this turn on First Order Executioner and quickly get rid of Kira there for 78k. We're gonna start working on mission here as well. We're going to utilize our taunt, and that mass assist makes quick work of every single character on the opposing team. So that was a bit of a risky match in terms of my decision making. However, you guys know me, I always like to do things like that. Unfortunately, sometimes it gets me the loss. But like I always say, it's good to learn things. And there's no other way of learning them from 3v3 other than Grand Arena, so may as well, right? So the last battle here is going to be this Malevolence. We're going to go straight for Geo Soldier here, as we can drop him fairly easily. We stuck buff immunity and healing immunity on Sun Fac, which is pretty awesome. We're going to use our Mass Assist onto Geo Soldier there. We're going to get our taunt up. Malevolence brings out a Vulture Droid. And we still haven't got Hyena Bomber out, which means we don't really need Plo Koon yet at this point. We've got a target lock on Sun Fac, and we're going to slowly work on Sun Fac's health there. Now we've got Hyena Bomber out, so our next reinforcement has to be Plo Koon. Get rid of those Buzz Droids. And now we're going to try and make quick work of this Hyena Bomber as well. We lose Anakin there, and we're not able to bring out Plo Koon, unfortunately, as it all happened so quickly towards the end. So in summary guys, this was a really fun Grand Arena. I still learned a couple of things, which is pretty awesome, and I'm glad that we still have our streak alive, 7 out of 7 as of today. Unfortunately, Nikarah here didn't attack at all. I would have wanted to see the results of his offensive battles, as he is an absolute legend in the game. So like always guys, leave a like, comment and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the content today, and I will see you on the next one.